Good to hear. Yeah. Can you hear me okay, by the way? There's a bit of a background noise here, but I'm not sure if you're able to hear that. I'm
I
trying to make sure
can.
you
Yeah,
can hear
I
the
think we're
background
okay.
noise.
No, I
Okay.
hear a little background noise, but it's not bad.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, we can go ahead and dive right in. Were you able to go over some resources? Because I did see in your application you weren't too sure what we did. If not, I can give you like a brief rundown.
I think I understand a little better. I went over some of the things, but if you just want to go through, I just haven't had a lot of time this week. So this was kind of you got me with your Facebook marketing. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to look at this and find out about it. And sorry, I have an obnoxious cat that wants my attention.
No worries. Yeah, because really like the foundation of what it is that we do is we work with medical professionals who
Hmm.
enjoy the teaching aspect. They have at least 5 to 10 years of expertise in their specific fields, and they're looking to continue to help people, but just done in a way that's not tied down to your time, right? You being stuck in a specific location because everything that we do is on the internet and it's
Right.
packed in trainings in order to reach more people, monetize them, and help you create like a passive income stream that way once we've been able to automate the entire process.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. I've been in practice for 22 years and I still love what I do, but
Yeah.
for example, today was just overwhelming and I just walked in the door 1 minute before our call. So,
Oh,
it's just been, I don't know. I'm not as young as I used to be, and it would be nice to have some additional monies coming in so that I don't have to work quite so hard. And I do love to teach. I'm a pediatrician, so.
yeah. And what do you mean by overwhelming? Like, what is that?
So just like nonstop all day long.
Mhm.
It would be nice to work a little bit slower pace.
Oh,
So, if there weren't so much pressure to perform and to do, it would be it would be nicer to be able to spend a little bit more time with each person and not
okay,
feel like I have to hurry.
got it. And can you tell me a little bit more, like what is like in terms of like what do you on a day-to-day basis? What kind of week looks like?
I'm a general pediatrician and I see mostly well visits, do a lot of psych type things because our area is relatively rural and we don't have a lot of resources from that point. And I think it's also exploded. So people are moving to this spot from all over the country, and so we're our whole infrastructure is kind of overwhelmed with people. And after the pandemic, we had kids who had lots of mental health issues, and so I'm dealing still actually with a lot of that and refer, a fair number of those, but there's a limited referral base. And so it's just complicated. But I see patients every week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I actually really have a great schedule. See patients every week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then every other week on Thursdays.
Yeah,
Um, so and I'm in a private practice. I'm a fourth owner of the practice, and so there's some responsibility involved with that. So,
okay. And so what would you say is like the most important reason why maybe looking at kind of making an adjustment, sort of a change now?
um, so like you said, I kind of want to continue to help people, but maybe on a larger scale, and then I would like to have some passive income.
Okay. And so before talking to me, were you like outside of the practice and the ownership there, like were you looking for other ways to maybe create like an income stream, something that would kind of help you have something that's not
Actually,
necessarily tied down?
actually, I'm in the process. I have a developmental toy store
Mhm.
online that I'm working on. So.
So like e-commerce, like
Mhm. Yep.
Amazon. Shopify.
Yep. I have a team set up, and they're. I started with one approach, and now I've kind of narrowed my approach, and so they're working on the details for me. But it's going to be really
Got it.
cool. Yeah.
Got it. And so what has you looking at maybe like what we have here, kind of the online medical education, like at this point, rather than maybe sticking to the e-commerce and kind of seeing how that plays out in the beginning.
Because I think this will be more using my skills and be more of an interest as far as from my medical experience and being able to share and all those things. And I don't really want to quit practicing either. I just I'm just looking for ways to diversify myself so that if I do reach a stage of burnout at my practice that's significant enough, then, it'll be an easy transition.
Okay. Where do you fall in right now with burnout? Because you kind of put that.
I'm a little bit burned out. I mean, I'm just, it varies from week to week. I've had a sinus infection this week. I've been kind of sick.
Mhm.
So I think that plays plays into my feelings day to day. But on a good week, I don't know how you would rate it, but
Yeah.
say mildly burned out.
Okay.
And some days more moderately burned out. It's not severe. I'm not like, depressed or anything like that. I'm actually kind of happy most of the time, but I don't know. It's a struggle sometimes. Uh,
Okay.
does
Yeah.
that make
Because
sense?
yeah, like there's just like the good, like you enjoy what you do, but there's just some bad days that kind of like, but it overall like the time over the period of time, it's like I still.
It's still worth it. I'm not selling it all and moving on yet, but I'm
Yeah.
just, I'm just thinking it might be nice to ease the schedule off a little bit in the next few years. So
Okay. And just to be sure that what we do here like would help you when it comes to maybe taking some of your own expertise, modularizing and being able to construct sort of like an idea, the topics, but even on the tech side, right? Developing a website, the automations and actually monetizing this, like what part of that process do you feel like you would need the most help with, or is it just everything from the beginning? Like,
I mean, some with everything because I'm certainly not an expert at it. And with what I've done with developing this little e-commerce site and all that, I've definitely learned that I have limits and, I don't know everything. And so I probably need assistance with obviously with developing the website. That's just not my thing. Um, but with knowing how to proceed, I have several sort of loose ideas about things that I could do, but I I'd like to have a better understanding of what kinds of things make sense and who my audience is. I wouldn't know like who the audience is.
okay.
Um,
So you
would it be parents or would it be other physicians or would it? I don't know. And I've also been through a divorce 10 years ago, and I have lots of experience with raising my kids
yeah.
by myself and lots of emotional recovery type work and stuff like that. So, I mean, I have all kinds of things.
It's just a matter of focus, right? Like
Yeah,
what can you the most amount of energy and that's going to give you the best output.
right.
Okay. And so then let's say that we were to come in, we're able to help you focus on one idea, who your audience is, how to market it, and then help you develop the course itself. Do you have a particular financial target that you would like to achieve over the next 3 to 6 months that would start allowing you to maybe cut back or have the option to start cutting back from your work hours? And then that way you do have a little bit more of that time available if you decide to do that
I
down the road.
have I have no idea how to gauge what's possible. So no, and I'm okay financially.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not like in a pinch. I've got money and I'm okay. So I don't necessarily have to have a certain amount. It could grow over a longer period of time if it needed to.
Yeah, because with like a lot of the doctors that we work with, like typically, like on average, what we aim for is anywhere from like 6 to maybe that 10,000 per month range over the next 3 to 4 months of working together, and once it's all automated. So it
So
really
it
just,
it, it goes up that fast.
yeah, everything is based on, which I'll kind of walk you through here soon, like how it all works and how we are able to understand like what's going to be worth pursuing. But just wanted to make sure that's like a reasonable area for you to be in, where it's also worth some of the time that might you might need to commit, right, to initially
Mhm.
get there.
Yeah. And is that something that is sustainable? Like, is it an ongoing growth or does it involve more? I don't, and it since I don't really know who the audience is supposed to be or who it's best to choose, then I don't really know, how sustainable is something like that.
Yeah. So everything that we decide to do is going to be, we look at the numbers, we look at real data. I kind of walk you through, right? It's going to be like, we know that this is something that's already working well. It's just a matter of can you articulate it, express it in a way, and put you in sort of that marketplace of people already
Mm.
looking, but as a professional. Because if you look at the internet, even if you do some self research, you might see that there's these self-proclaimed health experts that have these
Oh,
solutions. They're doing well, right? They're still doing well because there's not enough people that are actually taking over that industry, and so it's just whoever's there. whoever's available.
I guess it's just like anything else. If you do your research as far as knowing where things are, then
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'll walk you
Market.
more. Yeah, I'll walk you through a little bit more of like the specifics of how it all works step by step and see if this is something you feel like would make sense or would work for you.
Okay, hang on just one second. I need to let my dog out. Come here,
Yeah.
honey. Come on. That little quick bark was an emergency. She just finished eating, so she probably needed to go out.
Okay, no worries. So I'm going to share my screen with you and just let me know if you're able, once you're able to see it.
I can see it.
Okay. Yeah, so like just a little bit of background on us, right? Dr. Zoda and I, we've been working specifically with doctors and medical professionals for the past 5.5 years now. So everything that we do here comes down to helping you package and really monetize your expertise in a format that's online and allows you to help other people, but also make some additional income without relying on more time, locations, right? It's just being able to uh, help others at a larger scale as well. So the first part of the process that we have here is helping you come up with an idea because there's really about two categories when we speak to people. There's one, somebody who has a lot of ideas, they just don't really know which idea to focus on. Or there's somebody who thinks that they don't have any ideas they can teach, and it's the same thing. We have to help you focus on one. And so the last thing that we want you to do is to get overwhelmed or maybe pick an idea that you think might work, only to realize 3 to 6 months from now that there was no demand for it, and that's a lot of time and energy wasted on something that might not really work for you.
Right.
So the we help you resolve that is that we look at real numbers, we look at data on the back end with our team to help validate some of these ideas. So the first thing that we do have here is going to be an actual list. So we've compiled a list over the past almost 3 years now of different ideas in different categories that allow us that we've already looked into and we understand sort of the level of demand that there's out there. It's just a matter of finding a medical professional who has the experience, who can articulate sort of any messages or the topics that we want to provide here. And these are just ideas that we can give to you if this is the right take. But if you have some of your own ideas and you still want to like kind of look at what it is that we do here, we can also walk you through the process that we take to help validate some of these ideas. So for example,
can you show, before you go on, can you go back to that other screen? Can you show me what's under family, children?
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, the positive discipline I could definitely potentially do. Developmental milestones. Wow. That's, yeah, interesting. How many courses do you typically put into a set?
A lot of times it's one idea that can be really successful. It's like once we've been able to focus on one idea, that's the potential for the individual course. But with what we do here, you're not limited to how many trainings you can build with our team. So really, if you see 2 or 3 of these different topics that nobody has taken yet, and you know that you want to focus on just one in the beginning and do the one afterwards, that's openly available to you. Because there's a
what I mean is like how many videos would you need to make to go in each idea? Like if you did positive discipline, building strong bonds, how many videos would it take to have a course that you would charge for?
Yeah, it's not so much the videos or the amount of time that it takes to create the content itself, because just some topics in general are just require more explaining than others at times. What we always want to make sure is that, hey, whatever the topic that we're creating here is like, can you articulate in a way that the audience that you're helping is able to understand it by the end of the video and maybe get the solution that they came in looking for? Not to how long it takes. If anything, a lot of times we'll find that messages and educational trainings that are articulated to be in less time, it's a bit more valuable because people are able to get what they need faster.
Okay.
So like we can either give you this idea, right? You have this list here, or we can also walk you through sort of the process if we start looking at some topics that you may want to cover and look at the type of demand that it has. So something like multiple sclerosis, if I also look at like in terms of the numbers, we can see that there's around 787,000 searches every single month around this. Then we can start looking at what are the main questions people have around multiple sclerosis topics.
Oh.
And then if there's a specific age group or audience of people that are looking for this kind of question, what are they actually looking to resolve based off asking these questions? And then can you as a medical professional provide the context and information required to be able to articulate and help them in a way that we can package online?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's being able to really understand who we're helping, how we can best help them. And right, we can pick this with any topic. If we were to do ADHD, right, we can start looking at, hey, how many parents are looking, how many of these are parents out
I
of
could definitely do that one.
2.5 million a month? Like how many of these are parents trying to help their kids or looking for things for their kids? So
Okay,
really, that's the first
two
step.
seconds, and we'll let her back in.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, come on. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so really this is the first step, is really helping you clarify and get clear on what kind of topics are out there that you as a professional can provide, and then also so that there's a demand for it. And then that way we can move forward in each step from there with certainty.
Okay.
I mean, do you feel like this is helpful for you? Like this would be?
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally making sense. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think I could do something like this.
Yeah,
Are
because
you
after
using Google Analytics, or what tool are you using there?
it's called SEMrush. It's a little bit more advanced. It's like it's a paid thing that you can purchase as well. But like we
Mm-hmm.
just data and understanding the actual audiences and things like just getting a lot more detailed rather than just how many people are looking for this. But
Right.
we diagnose and just like a professional, right? Diagnose and really understand the root of it. But once we helped you come up with the idea, the second step is how do we then monetize it? How do we get in front of that specific audience on the internet who is looking for this kind of training? So really, this is a bit more specific. You will have somebody designated to kind of walk you through this as well, where we'll be able to start getting in front of the people that are looking for this type of information and then really presenting your solution in front of them. So in the very beginning stages, like this is really where you start seeing your first $2, $3, $4, $5,000 coming in after building and getting this out there. And then
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be able to start understanding, okay, where do we find the majority of the audience that is joining this? What are the similarities between everybody who is, and then how do we continue to expand from there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, step three,
So do you like do certain targeted ads?
yeah, this advertising organic as well. It's just like where would we find, like let's say we're helping other doctors, different avenues that we can pursue with step one. There's doctors who help other doctors, doctors who help patients or general public, and then who help medical students as well.
Okay.
And so like if we were to help other doctors, step two might be focused more on LinkedIn. And then if we were helping more general public, maybe we'll do something with Facebook because it's my
Mm-hmm.
overall audience there.
Gotcha.
And then step three is going to be focused on building out your course material and the web page, the development of all. So we don't expect you to be tech savvy. We would actually have this handled for you, so you don't have to go out and try to learn how to develop a web page for you, for yourself. We have this set up. The only thing that we can't do here is the actual education, which is really where you come in step three. So we can help you design the course layout, the structure of everything, but the only thing we can't provide is the actual training, the education. We can still kind of walk you through how to like write it all down, but that is going to be where you put in your expertise inside of there. And we would really just review it, making sure everything is well articulated, easy to understand, and then organize everything properly. And then after
So would you all help like build an outline of what makes the most sense to cover in certain topics? Because I feel like sometimes that's what's the struggle for me, is knowing, and I'm definitely better at it than I used to be because I have very targeted discussions with my parents and things like that. But still, just knowing like, okay, we start here and we work through. I mean, you guys would help with something like that.
yeah, it would all be structured, like everything based on step one. Once we understand our audience, questions that they have, we kind of understand how to format it all, like what modules all be structured.
Right.
And we would have that set up. The only thing that we can't do is the actual teaching side. So like the actual
Right.
topic, we could teach those.
Right.
But yeah, we would help on that end. And so once everything has been created and we're setting everything to making sure it looks professional, it's easy to understand, that's where we can finally move on to step four, which is the automations. So at that point, we have a clear idea, a clear understanding of who our audience is. We're able to monetize this. It's consistent, and all the training has been developed as well as a web page where people can find you. So once the automations are running, now the training can run all on its own on the internet globally without you having to be a part of it. If somebody wants to join, they can come in and find you and then join the material, and then you get paid out directly. So really the way that looks like, just as an example here, right? Let's say I was going to like a functional medicine. Let me expand it here, right? Courses, right? We built this page for her where people can come in and find her trainings. And let's say that, right, I wanted to come in here and learn training on nutritional IV protocols to help patients. Right? This is typically for other professionals that we have here. So if I want to come in, learn a little bit more about what's inside, if I decided that I wanted to commit and sign up today, then I can go to this checkout page, right? Complete the purchase, put in my email address, my billing details, and complete my purchase. So what would happen
So is this a website that you guys have?
that we created for Dr. Muth here?
Oh, okay. So you have people who've worked with you, they have profiles on here or not?
Yeah, so every doctor that we work with gets their own web page. So everything's owned by you, everything's your individual page. And this is what we're helping you build, construct, right? The course itself once people join. So everything that you see here, you can find her website online and you can decide to be a part of it as well.
But you can join the Functional Medicine Business Institute or whatever this is, or this is something else. I don't understand. So what we're looking at is where the client would come to sign up for a course and they pay for the course and all that. But how do they get to this web page to begin with?
Yeah, that's everything from step two. So how we market it, depending on the audience, depending on the topic that we're covering. Like for her example, like we're mainly helping other medical professionals, and we're targeting medical professionals who may be interested in like nutrition IV protocols, maybe functional medicine, things like
Right.
that. Then we bring over to her website that we developed, and then people can now find the trainings. And if they're interested, they can go to this checkout page, get some information, and
So this Functional Medicine Business Institute, is this one individual's page with all their different courses on it?
yeah.
Okay, that's what I didn't understand. I didn't know if this was like multiple people's, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, like a catalog of like everybody.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like a catalog or if this is just one doctor that did.
Yeah, this is one doctor that we built her webpage for her,
Wow.
right? Dr. Muth.
Wow.
So they
Okay,
really
so that's what I didn't understand. I didn't know what we were looking at.
okay.
Okay,
My apologies.
that's
Yeah.
okay.
Right. So she has different courses at this point. Right. Thyroid complexity, custom compounding solutions, nutrition IV protocols. Right. But if somebody did want to join and sign up today, once they've gotten information of what's the context, what's going to be provided, whether they would put in their email address, their billing details, and complete their purchase. All these different options available. And when that happens, they would automatically get the course, the resources sent over to them. And then Dr. Muth here, she would automatically get the $200 directly to her bank account. Right. So none of this is constrained on her time. She's not out there having to reach out to people individually. Right. It's all on the internet. It's all automated at this stage. Right? But she still is able to come in and actually provide all the context, the information that she would like to
Right.
she's helping. Right. Another example is Dr. Mill. Right, helping women mainly. She all her on headaches, increasing their energy, their mental clarity without having to rely on medications. That's her training here. Nice
Wow.
video, entire format, all the way. And at this point, we've expanded on it, but now that she has more people that we've helped her get in, right? What's inside the modules, what they can expect. If somebody did want to be a part of it, they can come in, maybe decide to get started. Right? There's three different options there: $300 or three payments of 114. So all we're doing is bring over for her audience, right? It's women who are typically stressed, maybe have some anxiety, or maybe other things, and relying on medications and they want to get off of it.
That's a fairly specific niche.
Yeah. So it's just being able to, well, there's a demand, right? That's the first thing. We
Yeah.
first demand, and then
Yep.
had a ton of them, and then over time we've been able to build this. But this is the exact same process that we would take for you if you were to help kids, right? Maybe we're targeting the
Mhm.
parents. How do we get in front
Yep.
of that?
That's
And
probably that would probably be my chosen audience, you know. And honestly, if I did some of those things, my own website and store could be a perfect tie-in to, you know, to this sort of thing as well.
yeah, And I mean, do you see how like this would all like could work for you? From
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
Because in terms of the four-step process, really that's how everything would be developed and built. Just in terms of the back-end support, there's three different levels of support that we have here. The first one is going to be done through a weekly Q&A, but that's going to be every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's a small group setting of around 5 to 6 other doctors
Okay.
where you can come in, maybe collaborate, see what they're doing, kind of see the way that we walk them through being able to develop their pages or maybe review what they've built so far and maybe see
Mhm.
how you can start developing yours or get your own web page reviewed or your ideas reviewed if you're open to that as well. But if you prefer more of an individualized one-on-one attention, we also have these unlimited one-on-one support calls, similar to how you scheduled this call today, where you can schedule it based on both of our availabilities and sit down with us for the next 30 minutes to an hour and really just ask any questions around ideas, how to market this out there, how to build the web page or maybe the content, anything like that, or eventually automations. So these are unlimited, meaning that you're never restricted to how much time that you can speak to us. We just want to be here and we want to make sure that we're available to help you to make sure everything is done the right way, completed, and we can help you automate this and really monetize it the way that you would like it to be.
Okay.
And the third aspect is more of a community. So we do have a digital doc community where you can see all the doctors that we've worked with. You're able to see their websites, similar to what I just kind of walked you through, their topics, what's worked well for them. A lot of times they'll post their wins, and it's a good way for you to also collaborate and see what's led to other people's success. And we never restrict you from being able to speak to anybody inside the community. So you'll have access to a community of other doctors, doctors out in our team to always ask us questions and see what's working well for others and maybe be able to model off their success as well. And
Awesome.
really, the final part is everything in here is lifetime access. So this means that you can build more than one course with our team, or if you ever wanted to continue to expand on your existing training that you've worked with us so far, then you always have access to any ongoing guidance or any ongoing support that you would need along the way. And so lifetime access also means just like you're never restricted developing a second or third course down the road.
So when you say building the website,
Mhm.
is that something that you all do for the people that you work directly with? Or is
Yes,
that
that would be set up by us. Like we'd already have like formats set up for you so that you're able to just focus on the idea and what you already understand.
right? I would say that's one of the most complicated pieces of it, honestly. And then so are we responsible for managing that website after it's all set up? Or who manages that long term?
Yeah, so everything that we help you build is 100% owned by you. So
Hmm.
I'll show you how to manage it, but really management is really just checking the links to make sure everything's working well. And if something were to occur, you do have lifetime access. You can still set up a call with our tech team and just get anything resolved as well.
Okay.
But yeah, in terms of maintenance, once everything is set up, it's maybe like 30 minutes to an hour per week. A lot of times it's just checking in that everything is still loading up properly.
Cool.
And really, that's how the entire program works. So I'm happy to answer any specific questions you may have around anything you feel we didn't go over.
I think I've asked as we've gone on most things. I guess I just need to know how much it's going to cost me.
Yeah, or we can cover the investment. And just beforehand, because what always matters with our team and like doctors out, especially because it is lifetime access as well, is alignment. And regardless of how many doctors we've worked with in the past, we always want to make sure that for you specifically, you feel this is something that would help you, kind of getting to the passive income side of things, but also educating and using your medical expertise.
So
So, like,
I do have a question. So what percent, like, what are the ranges of income for all the people that you've worked with? Like, do you have a layout that shows? I mean, you've obviously shown me some of the most successful ones, but are there some that are on a lower scale or some that didn't do anything at all? I mean, are there any people who put everything into it and did all the things they were supposed to do, and then it still was just kind of a flop?
no, as of now, like everything on the low end, it's everything from 3 to 5K, maybe 2.5 on a low end. And then some of the ones that are like on the higher end, it's like more of the larger, some of their companies, private practices, it's more like on 60, 70, 80,000 per month doing online education. So
Wow.
like There's outliers, but I always kind of stay within the average of 6 to 10 because that's really where a lot of people end up falling in. And
So
because
that's kind of more average, the 6 to 10.
yeah, six,
Okay.
then there's like, okay, a little bit higher is 10 to 20, 25, and then there's some of the outliers, which is 30.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you could hit it big, I guess. And
Yeah. Yeah. And then we don't like everybody's gone through the process, has seen the result out of it because everything is based on data. We never have you just go out and try and test all these different ideas without first having our team really analyze and look at what's out there and what's working.
right,
So it's something where we're really trying to play with your time or our time as well, right? To get
right.
things done and set up the right way.
Cool.
Any other questions on that?
I guess the time, I guess we didn't really specifically, I listened to or watched some of the videos, and it sounds like some of the time commitment up front is, I don't remember. I don't remember what it said about.
Yeah, we typically ask that you're able to at least set aside maybe 3, 4, 5 hours per week over the next like 2 to 3 months to
Okay.
really get this out and get this to step 4 and make sure everything is consistent at that point.
And do most people record their own um, lessons, or um, do they have a professional record them?
No, everybody really records their own lessons. It's similar to how I have it out here, where it's just presentation. They talk over it. They can choose if they want their face on the corner or they just want to have somebody, the presentation and then talking on the background without their image.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and then we can also walk you through how to do that as well. It's inside,
Sure.
but we can sit down with you.
Okay.
Yeah. And so like really like knowing what you know now, do you feel like this could I guess like help you kind of achieve some of those goals that you mentioned?
Yeah,
And
I
okay.
do.
Yeah, because I would like to invite you in terms of the investment, we do have it as a one-time investment to work with our team. It's 7,800 USD.
Hmm.
And the 7,800 is for the lifetime access, meaning there's no yearly fee, there's no monthly fee, there's no percentage of any ownership from what we help you build. It's simply just to develop everything that we've gone over. So like really if that's something that you want to be a part of, the next steps that we kind of walk you through sort of the investment and then give you full access to everything. And then from there we'd set up an initial call, which is going to be that clarity call where we would not only help you come up with the idea to focus on, but also a bit of a roadmap and game plan for yourself as to what to expect over the next 2 to 3 months so that we can hit your specific goals.
Okay.
Would that be appropriate or how did you want to proceed from here?
So that's the option, right? I mean, there's not another. You said, I thought you said one option, but I didn't really. That
Yeah,
that's just what it is. I mean, there's not like something else. I almost thought you were going to say something else. That's the only reason I was asking.
in terms of the investment or like
Yeah,
the
yeah. Like how much the investment is, or how it's structured, because you said that would have lifetime access. I didn't know if there was something else.
Oh yeah, no, so it's 7,800. It could also be broken down in half over 2 payments of 4K.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just mentioning more in terms of there's no monthly because sometimes people ask us, hey, there's 7,800 plus like a yearly fee plus do I have to pay another 7,800 if I make a second course with you guys? And it's like no, it's
Okay.
78 time or
Okay.
down over 2 payments at 4K over 30 days.
So I think I want to do it. Um, my only concern is that the next month is probably going to be incredibly busy for me. Um, the next, oh, it's about to be winter in pediatrics, but I do have days during the week when I can do things, so that's okay. But the next few weeks are extremely busy, and so I'm wondering if maybe starting in January would be smarter.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I can pay for it whenever. I don't care, but I just didn't know if I needed to, if we could go ahead and have our setup call, and then if I do it at a slower pace, maybe, like when I have time. I don't know. You tell
yeah.
me.
So if you wanted to like join today and then you want to start in January, because we actually are getting some of those right conversations, especially during the holidays. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we're ready to start, but towards January. So if you want to commit today, I can still give you access to everything. So even if you have like an hour a week right now and it's a bit more busy, maybe 30 minutes, right, to at least get some progress. And then that way, January, once you're able to commit more time, you at least probably have the idea set up and a structure laid out. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I mean, so once you give me access, then there's like a website I look at to look at the ideas or
Yeah, so I can send you the idea page as well if you want to go over one of those, or if you have some of your own ideas that you maybe want us to look over, like the
oh,
data and that, then we can do that for you. And really the conversation would be, hey, these are maybe you give us 5 topics, either the top three, either the two that we would recommend the most. It is your decision ultimately, but these are the ones that we would highly recommend based on the potential and the demand that there is for it. Which one do you want to proceed with?
okay. Um, okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm good with that.
Okay. So is this something that you want to be a part of?
Yes.
Okay. So I would send you over the invitation via email, and then
Okay.
from the next steps, just to give you full access to everything.
Okay. Awesome.
Let's see here. Okay, so I just sent it over to email. It's the same email that I sent over the calendar invitation earlier as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you know when you received it, and also just to set up some of your accounts, like on my end, were you wanting to use that same email, the ltreesemd@gmail.com for the invitation for the login access, or do you use it?
Yes,
Okay. So just let me know if you received the invitation, which
I
kind
got
of
it.
and
Hmm.
then you put that same email on there because that's where the automations work. Okay, so
So does Dr. Zoda do any more practice, or is he just doing this full time?
no, he stopped practicing about 2.5 years ago. Because once we started to expand and have a team, like there's just too many things on top of that.
Yeah.
So,
So I guess some people probably continue to build and keep going with this if they build a following, I guess.
yeah, for some doctors, right? Like it's that same drive that like they're so used to working those long hours that sometimes even if they make an additional income, like they're just like, hey, I can still work. Like I'm not retired. I'm not too old. I don't. It's not like there's just like we have some doctors that are maybe even do it during retirement where they're just like I still
Right.
have expertise. I don't just want to say that I'm no longer a doctor. I'm retired and I'm gonna let all my education go down the drain just with retirement. Yeah, so there's a lot of different scenarios that we find.
Oh, wait, hang on. Trying to figure out which card I'm going to put it on. Got to get the. Oops. Okay, I'm logged in.
Okay, so it's gonna walk you through some of the next steps. Yep, congratulations. It should say like congratulations, you were inside.
Uh-huh.
So you don't have to read everything that tells you there. I can just walk you through it.
Okay.
Without. So the first thing that you would do is just go over in your emails. I've already sent over your invitations. I think if you go over the first thing, I just want to make sure that you have the receipt just stating that you did join.
Okay. So I need to look at my email.
Yeah, the
Right.
one that we just used here. And I'll also
Yep.
give you the
Purchase
invitation.
confirmed.
Yep. And then
Um,
the second one would be you might see one that says Chester and one that says Alicio sent you an invitation to join Digital Doctor. And if you click on that email, it's going to say join now and a yellow button.
Okay. So should I reply confirm access first or wait and do that later?
You can do that afterwards. That's typically just it because sometimes people like join like after the call or something, but yeah, it's just to make sure.
Gotcha. Okay. So click the join now. Yep. Okay, and I got a receipt. I got a digital receipt.
Yeah, yeah. Just wanted to make sure you received that as well, just to state that you did join. You have that available to you.
I think would this be the same password I already created?
Yeah, you would just rewrite it. It's just like double confirmation.
Well, so when I'm just signing in, basically.
Yeah, you would
So
sign in.
I need to click login then, not um
Yeah, I set up the
I
email.
already joined, right? I mean it's
Yeah.
sorry, I'm kind of punch drunk. I'm so tired.
How long was your shift today?
Not that long, but like I said, I've been sick.
Oh,
So um I'm just wiped out. I had lunch with my friend and then everything was just very rushed.
okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, and then once you do log in, it's going to ask you for a photo. So if you don't have a photo available on the device that you're using, I typically just recommend you put a background of a wallpaper, just anything, right? And then it's also going to ask you for a bio, and all you have to really write there is just your profession or specialty.
Okay. Sorry, I'm struggling. Don't want to waste your time.
No, no worries. We have a time set aside.
Okay. Okay, and we'll try again. Is it school.com? That's what I'm looking for the password to.
School.com/digital doctor or dash digital
I
doctor.
let my computer generate the thing, but then it's doing all this other crazy stuff and I'm okay. Paste. There we go. Okay. And no, I don't know my password because it's saved in the computer.
Yeah.
And it says no account found.
No, so
Um,
you might have to sign up then again, just in case then, because typically it should just use your details, but if it doesn't let you log in, I would just try signing up one more time and then I'll look at it here on my end. Let's see.
okay, now it's saying a verification code. Okay, here we go.
It'll let you log in?
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so it's going to ask you for a photo and then just the bio, and then from there I'll just walk you through the community and then just to make sure you have access to everything that you would need from there.
Okay. So now I'm logged in. So then I can go to different parts and look.
Yeah, so you should be at this main page if you fully put in your bio and profile.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Okay. Yeah, so you are fully in now. And I also sent you a message, so you might have received it. It's going to be like at the top right up here where it says chats. I
Okay.
kind of mention that in a bit. But
Yep.
so there's going to be really just three tabs that you should focus on here in the community. The first one is that community tab, where it's very similar to like the Facebook post where it says write something. This is where you can come in and you can ask questions or put anything that you're currently building with our team out there for other people to see. So just so that you're aware, this is meant for all 1,800 members to see. So if it's a question that you have, make sure that you I'll walk you through how to do that with us. But this is just meant for if you ever wanted reviews for more than just our team, or maybe some topics that you want to cover, and you're kind of having you don't know which one out of like two or three that you really want to focus on, and that have a demand out there, and you can just get other people's feedback or inputs. If you wanted to reach out to our team directly, the way that you would do that is there's going to be two names pinned up at the top. There's Dr. Zoda and Ashley Clark. So Ashley, she is our customer success manager. She's just really to make sure that you have all your questions answered, that you're getting the right support. But she's also there to answer any general questions that you have along the way. So to reach out to her, you can just hover over her name here on the chat and send her any direct messages, right? And then you can ask. Same with Dr. Zoda, you can reach out to him as well.
Okay.
And if you were to scroll up, there's going to be the classroom tab. So in the classroom tab, you're going to have this big green text, the box here. And the first lesson that you have is just going to be the welcome lesson. Always just recommend going over the first 3 videos. These are going to give you the most context as to what you can expect. We show you examples of courses already doing over $100,000 per year in profit, and then reverse engineering, what led to their success, so that you can really understand what it's going to look like for you, how we're going to build everything out, and really what to expect over the time that we work together in developing your first training. And on there, you're also going to have a link that says claim your success call, which I've sent you the message on the school chat.
Okay.
Where you can schedule, those are going to be for your unlimited one-on-one calls. That way you're never trying to, if you have that time available, just set it aside with our team and we can just help you directly outside of the group session.
Okay.
So really what I would recommend as your next step is just going over the first orientation videos, the first 3 at least, and then set success call so that we can help you clarify on just one idea, or you can send a chat to Ashley as well.
Okay, perfect.
And the third tab is going to be a calendar tab. So you only have to set this up once, or you can manually just check in here every Sunday. This is going to be Q&A calls where you can just click on this button, right? Add the Zoom link to your calendar, and every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we'll have these group calls for about an hour and a half sometimes. And you can just ask us any questions or see what other doctors are currently building and see maybe what's leading to their success or the kind of feedback that they get, just in case you get to that area at some point yourself.
Okay. Awesome.
And really that's everything in terms of just the community. Any questions on that? I just want to make sure I didn't talk too fast there.
I don't think so. It's going to take me a little bit to digest it. And sometimes, I heard everything you said and I understood it, but sometimes it just takes me a little while to explore it myself. And then I tend to learn, things I don't, that I retain really well if I've, messed around in there. So I'll probably just get in there and click on everything. And
okay, got it. Okay.
Kind of a hands-on learner. So
yeah, that makes sense. That's similar to how I am as well. Like once I do it, I'm like, okay, I get it. But when I'm
and I almost have to go screw up before I, I don't know. That's kind of how I did my Shopify store. I kind of tried to do it all myself. Then I was like, nope, I can't do this. I need to let somebody else do it. But I learned so much, totally. It was amazing doing all that. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the final thing is that you will get a text message because you will have a designated success coach. So you just look out for that over the next 30 minutes to an hour. It might be either Ashley, Karina, or Maria. So maybe Mariam. So if you see any of those names, just know that they're with our team, and that's going to be through text, your actual phone number. That way, if you're just not inside the community, you can still reach out to us and ask us any questions that way.
Okay. So just start by watching the videos, add the stuff to the calendar, and then we'll set up a call at some point. It may take a few days to get that done, or
yeah, with that link, you can set it up based on your availability. If you don't, you don't find one that is available with your time, then from that text message that you get from your designated success coach, just let them know if you can organize a specific time, and then we'll work with our schedules to make sure that we can accommodate something, and then that you can jump on a call with us.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm just traveling next week, and there's just a lot going on. So
Yeah, and if you also want to let your success coach know that, hey, I'm not going to be as available because of these reasons, which is totally normal, then just let us know in advance, and then that way they're not like, hey, we haven't set up our call yet, right? All these
Yeah.
things.
Where are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So any other questions for me?
I don't think so. No, I
Okay.
appreciate
All right. Yeah. So really just the next steps, we go through the classroom, the initial videos, set up your first call or start formulating maybe some ideas or topics that you want to consider so that we can do step one and
it. Okay.
start like we're even going over that list, which I'll send you here as well with that message actually.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then that way we can really understand, how we're going to start building this out with you specifically, and then how do we then best help you from there.
Awesome.
Let's see. All right. Yeah, if you don't have any other questions for me, then I mean, you still have contact with me. You have my text message where I kind of set up for this call.
Yeah.
You can also chat with me inside the school community, and we can go from there if you have any questions down the road. Don't
Great.
hesitate.
Thank you, Alicia. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, it was great speaking to you, and